Madeline. She's been a spirit guide for, well, ever. I'm sure she's got a lot to teach us. Once this is all over, anyway.
Madeline. The last time we met, she helped me out of the void. I suppose I owe her one.
Blackwell? Malone? It's been a long time since we've been able to converse.
It's been almost 6 months since Joey freed you. How come we're only seeing you now?
I admit the transition hasn't been pleasant. I have had 3 hosts since returning to this world. The first was an old man on the edge of death. He lingered for 6 weeks before finally succumbing to the inevitable. When the old man passed, I became bound to his niece for a time. She ran every time she saw me. I tried to keep my distance, give her time to adjust, but in the end, she fell down the stairs in an attempt to flee. The poor woman died, and I was passed to her brother, and the man inside.
Do you know what's going on? Why are these souls being attacked?
I do not know. I wish I did. Like you, we saw it happen. We saw a soul being torn apart and could do nothing. I'm afraid my host became a little unreasonable after that.
Why was George looking for me?
We needed a bestower. A proper bestower. My host and I were not up to the task.
Eh?
It might be due to my time in the void. It might be because my host's soul has been marked by whatever is out there. But in any case, our abilities are limited. We cannot even help lost souls move on as you do. We can see them and talk to them, but that is all. Hence why we needed you.
Lucky us.
So what can we do? We don't even know what's going on.
Our theory was that you could help move these poor souls into the next world before they were destroyed. But it appears that it did not achieve the desired result.
You could say that, yeah.
You must investigate. My host and I are restricted, but you two are not. If anyone can help uncover why these poor spirits are being attacked and stop it, it is you.
You should really call me Rosangela.
Forgive me. When you are as old as I am, all the names blur together. So I tend to address those I speak to by their family name. It is just easier that way. And less painful. I'm afraid it is a habit that is difficult to break.
So how'd you like being on the outside, as it were? I imagine it's better than being trapped wherever you were.
I had hoped, that I would pass on, that being brought back to the mortal world would force me to obey mortal laws. Instead, No, it is not to be. I have returned to my former duties, therefore I must have further work to do. But yes, it is nicer than being trapped in the void. Did I ever thank you, Malone?
Not as such, no.
Well, I must rectify that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
Do you know anything about this Grace group?
I know that it meant a great deal to my host, as well as his friends. Whatever happened at those meetings, it greatly improved their lives. But obviously, it came at a cost.
What can you tell me about Father Michael?
Cooper is my host. We have not had the time to get to know each other better.
Is he always this ornery?
Do have some pity for him. He has lost his uncle, his sister, and several of his friends. He has been forced to accept the spirit world and the possible loss of his own soul, all within the span of a few weeks. If anyone deserves some understanding, it is he.
There's a ghost haunting the empty apartment across from George Austin.
I see. Well, you know your duty. Go and save it.
Why do you let Father Michael push you around like that?
It is what my host wishes.
So?
Simply that. I must do what my host commands.
Right, seriously. What's the story?
No story, Malone. If my host wishes me to leave him alone, I leave him alone.
That actually works?
Of course. It is my duty to do so.
So, Joey, could...
No.
Of course, some of us take our duties more seriously than others.
Well, I suppose we'll talk to you soon.
Of course.
Joey?
What's going on?
I always used to wonder what it would be like to go to this school. Never thought it would take this. Michael has got to know more than he's telling us.
Maybe we should keep talking to him. He's bound to spill something. Hey, Reg, you got a second?
What?
Michael looks scared out of his mind. Guess I can't blame him, considering. Let's keep talking to him. I'll give her one thing. It's sure nice to have another sane spook to talk to. Hey, Maddie?
Yes, Malone.
So you don't know anything else about this Grace group?
I'm afraid not. You know as much as I.
You ever go to the Carth House? Dumpy place in Chelsea.
I'm afraid I do not.
Can you tell me anything else about Michael?
Sadly, no. We have not had the time to get to know each other better.
Right. We're gonna take off, plan our next move.
Of course.
Father Michael?
The Lord is my shepherd.
Yeah?
I can't believe there's another medium in New York.
Medium?
Sorry, I mean Bestower. I've been calling myself medium for so long I sometimes forget.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not like I have anyone to talk to about this stuff. Nobody living, anyway.
Hey, look, I'd love to swap ghost stories with you, but it takes all my concentration to maintain the circle.
Right, sorry. Maybe we'll have coffee later? You know, after we save your soul and everything.
Sure, sounds great.
What is this circle?
Oh, this. Madeline taught me how to do it. It prevents anything spiritual from getting to me. It takes some concentration to maintain, so I'm sorry if I seem a bit inhospitable.
How did you learn what was happening?
You mean that our souls were being taken?
Yeah.
It was a few weeks ago. I was at the bedside of a friend. Jeffrey, his name was. He went to the Grace Group meetings back in the day. Like me. He had been in a car accident. Hit and run. He was dying, and he wanted me there. And when he died, I saw it. His spirit being torn apart. He screamed. I'll never forget that scream.
I know. I saw it too.
Anyway, with Madeline's help, I began looking into other members of the group and learned it was happening to all of us. You know the rest.
So you're working with Madeline?
Working? I guess you could call it that. I've been too busy being scared to give it any serious thought.
So why'd you send Madeline outside?
Her presence disturbs my concentration, so she's keeping as far away as she can until this is resolved.
What about us?
You're the ones who are going to save my hide. For you, I'll make the extra effort to focus.
Could you tell me about the Grace Group? It was some kind of self-help group?
About 20 years ago, I was a very different person. I suppose you could call me an alcoholic, although I wouldn't have said it at the time. Then I saw an ad in the newspaper. It promised to help folks like me find their way. It seemed to be some kind of hippie self-help group, but I went to a meeting anyway. I don't remember much about the meetings, but somehow I had discovered that going to seminary school was something I had to do. It all made sense.
Made sense.
I just knew it was what I was meant to be doing, and I was right.
What about yourself? Is there anything we should know?
Look, you're not exactly catching me at my best here. I can't do anything. I'm not a true bestower like you are. Madeline says she's been weakened, or I've been weakened, or something. She doesn't know. Believe me, if I could do what you can do, I'd be out there trying to stop this. But I can't. So all I can do is hide.
There are tons of case files. Did you know that there's a ghost across the roof from George's apartment?
Really?
Do you know anything about it?
Sadly, no. I'm sorry.
Is there anything else you could tell us about the Grace Group?
No. You know everything I do.
What happened at these meetings?
That's just it. I don't remember. Until recently, I never questioned it before. How messed up is that? I'd go, I'd sit down and leave. I'd meet with the other members for coffee afterward. What on earth did we talk about? We must have found something. But I do remember a man. Benjiro. He ran the meetings.
Benjiro?
Yeah, Japanese guy. I don't remember anything else about him.
So the man who ran the Grace Group meetings was named Benjiro?
Yeah, Japanese guy. I don't remember anything else about him.
How many people went to these meetings?
There were 6 of us. You already know about Leah and George and myself. The others are dead.
Who were they?
Does it matter? They are dead. Their souls were taken.
Even still, tell me.
Jeffrey Dutta, Heather Goffstein, Peter Fielding.
Could you tell me about Jeffrey?
God, Jeffrey Dutta. Talk about transfiguration. When he walked into that Grace Group meeting, I thought he was in the wrong place. I mean, the guy was a Wall Street broker, for crying out loud. He could have bought the church and everything in it. But he later confessed that he tried to kill himself. Twice.
So what happened to him?
He became a professional dog walker. Can you believe it? He used to pocket millions a year plus bonuses. Then he was picking up dog crap for $25 an hour and smiling about it. He was hit by a car crossing the street. A hit and run. I was at his bedside when he died. Madeline had been around for about a month at that point, so I saw his spirit rise from his body. I thought I was supposed to help him, but instead You know what happened next.
Could you tell me about Peter?
Peter Fielding, yes. I never had much contact with him. He died several months ago. I'm afraid it's too late for him.
You saw his soul being taken?
Well, no. He died before Madeline came into my life, so I can't say for sure. But he went to Grace Group meetings, and he's dead. What other conclusion can I reach?
Tell me about Heather Goffstein. You said she was a member of your group.
Yes, she was one of us. I asked George if he knew where she was. He told me she was dead. I'm afraid it's too late for her.
Is this like Peter? Did you actually see her soul being taken?
No, I didn't. Thank heaven I didn't. Seeing it happen once is more than I can take.
How exactly did Peter Fielding die?
Why? Are you going to try and find his spirit? There is no spirit. It's gone.
You said it yourself. You don't know for sure.
It was some kind of accident. I'm not sure of the details. I read about his death in the obituaries. Too late for his funeral, sadly, but I said a prayer for him.
How did Heather Goffstein die?
I'm afraid I don't know. George was the one who kept in touch with her. He told me she died, but he didn't tell me how or when. I suppose it doesn't matter anymore.
All right, Michael. We're going to go.
Of course. Godspeed to the both of you. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters.
Madeline?
Yes, Blackwell.
Michael said that a man named Benjiro ran the Grace Group meetings.
My host has said as much to me, yes. Sadly, he does not remember much about him.
Could you tell me about Jeffrey?
I'm afraid not.
Do you know anything about Peter Fielding? He was in the Grace Group with Michael.
I have never met him. He passed away before I became bonded with my host.
Michael believes his soul was already taken.
He might be right, but he may not be. If his spirit still exists, you are the ones to find it.
Do you know anything about Heather Goffstein? She was in the Grace Group with Michael.
I know of her, but I have never met her. She passed away before my host and I became bonded. I never encountered her spirit.
Michael believes her soul was already taken.
It is certainly possible, but I refuse to lose hope until I see the evidence.
Well, I suppose we'll talk to you soon.
Of course.
Joey?
What's going on?
This Benjiro person. If he ran the Grace Group meetings, we have to find him.
One step at a time, sweetheart. We'll get to him. And when we do, give him a punch in the face for me.
Whoever Jeffrey Dutta was, it's probably too late to save him.
Can't worry about that now. Let's just put a stop to this before it happens to anybody else.
This Peter, a lead worth pursuing?
Let your feet do the walking, Red.
Whoever Heather was, Michael seems pretty sure that she was, well, taken, like Leah and George.
God, I hope not. I'm not sure how many more of these ripped-up spooks I can take.
Michael gave us a few names. We probably should look into them.
After you, dear.
Officer Palmer?
Yeah, what can I do for you?
I'm trying to find someone named Benjiro. He ran some kind of self-help circle called the Grace Group.
Let's see. No, nothing on file. Sorry.
Do you have a record of a Jeffrey Dutta? He was killed in a hit and run.
Let's see. Yep, hit and run, like you said. Technically, the case is open, but nobody has any hopes that it'll be solved.
Can you tell me anything about the death of a Mr. Peter Fielding?
Okay, let's see. Yep, here he is. Peter Fielding, age 54, owned a fitness center in Murray Hill called Field's Gym. He fell off a ladder while fixing a light bulb in the locker room, hit his head on the bench, and bled to death. Nobody found him for several hours. An ambulance was called and pronounced him dead at the scene.
Nothing more than that?
That's pretty open and shut. Accidental death.
Do you have any record of a Heather Goffstein?
Let me check. Nope, nothing on Heather Goffstein. Sorry.
Well, I'd better go. Thanks for the help.
Sure.
No, I don't see any connection at all. This Benjiro person. If he ran the Grace Group meetings, we have to find him. I can't see any connection. Yep, he's still there. Joey, I'd like to talk to you.
What is it this time?
I can't remember the last time I went to a gym.
Thinking of joining?
With all the walking I do every day, I don't think I need to. Michael gave us a few names. We probably should look into them.
After you, dear.
Looks nice and warm in there. Of course, so would an ice factory right now. That's a pretty solid window. Looks nice and warm in there. Of course, so would an ice factory right now. It seems to open with a key card. It says members only. It says members only. It's a key card reader. Looks like it unlocks the door. It needs a key card. Sticking my hand in it won't do anything.
Come here for a minute.
Uh-huh. What's up?
You want to get a few rounds in while we're here?
I'm not exactly dressed for the gym, Joey.
Excuses, excuses. In my day, gyms were for sweaty weightlifter guys. These days, it's all toothpicks. I'll just use the door. It says members only. Some kind of modern lock gadget. Looks like some kind of headshot photo. Probably someone famous who uses the gym. Let's see here. Tanya Corsi. Hey, wait a second. Is that... Yeah, that's the spook from George's roof. Her name is Tanya Corsi. She's the spook from George's roof. A calendar with a marker pen attached. Looks like that picture frame fell off the wall. I can't touch the thing. A TV showing some energetic broad in yoga pants. Run, run, run like a hamster on a wheel. That looks like a torture device to me. Probably nobody in there with my luck. Hey, anyone in here? Anyone? Please? Well, that was disappointing. The men's locker room. Glad I can't smell anymore. Nobody here.
Hey, does it look right? Seriously, does it look right?
Does what look right?
The light bulb. I could swear it was blinking.
It looks fine to me.
Huh. Gotta do everything myself around here.
Just a forgotten towel. It's empty. Looks to be in his 50s? It's hard to say. He's got the hair of an older man, but the body that most guys in their 20s would envy. He obviously worked out religiously, for all the good it did him. Hey, friend, can we talk for a second?
Are you sure there's nothing wrong with that light?
I'm no expert, but it looks fine to me.
Well, what can I do for you?
Hey, is your name Peter Fielding by any chance?
That's me. Why?
No reason. You own this joint, right?
Yes, I do. My dad built it. You could say it's a family business. Been running it around 20 years. Seems like yesterday.
So what's the story with the lights?
I don't know. It's driving me crazy. There's something wrong with them. I can tell.
Well, like I said, they look totally fine to me.
I'll just have to keep checking.
Nice place you got here.
Thanks. You looking to join?
Ah, no, I really don't think exercise is gonna do me much good.
It's amazing how many people think that. You're young. Your metabolism is still going strong. But time catches up with you before you know it.
You're preaching to the choir, Peter, but I'm still not interested.
Well, we're here if you need us.
So, how are you feeling?
Fine. Why?
You don't feel strange at all?
What do you mean?
Well, just hypothetically speaking, you don't feel like you're gonna explode?
What, like indigestion?
Not quite.
I am on a strict diet of wheatgrass shakes and fiber. Indigestion is the last thing I have to worry about.
So, you run this place with your old man, huh?
Sort of. He built it when he left the army. I took over long ago.
So, you run this place...
Sort of.
Ever hear of the Grace Group? I understand you went to a few meetings.
You know about that?
Sure.
Wow. Well, yeah. I went to some meetings. It was all I needed.
Why's that?
Well, I wasn't the most focused of people back then. It's a long story, but in the end, I went to work with my dad running this place. It's been my life ever since.
Hey, I think I met a friend of yours, Father Michael Cooper.
Michael? Now there's a name I haven't heard in a while. How is he?
He's seen better days.
I'm sorry to hear that. He'll pull through. He always has.
I hear Tanya Corsi went to this gym.
She's been coming here for years. That body you see on TV, I take full credit for that.
Well, we all gotta be proud of something. Do you know anything about Benjiro? Ran the Grace Group meetings.
Sure.
Well?
Funny. I can't think of anything to say exactly. It's been 20 years.
Sure, people forget things.
That's it exactly. I just didn't think it would happen to me so soon.
Did you know Jeffrey Dutta?
You know Jeff too.
Not really, I just heard of him.
Good guy. Took care of my neighbor's dog when she was on vacation.
So tell me about yourself, Peter.
I'm the guy who's gonna kick your butt into shape.
Ah, well, we'll see. Do you know Heather Goffstein?
You know Heather too. Who don't you know?
Well, I'm a people person.
Wow, Heather. Haven't heard that name in a long time.
Well, I'll see you around.
You got it. I'll be here. I just gotta see what's wrong with this damn light.
So I found Peter.
Peter? Peter Fielding?
Yeah, he's safe and sound. Spiritually speaking, anyway.
Huh. Michael was sure that Peter's ghost was taken.
Just between you and me, Michael doesn't look to be sure about very much. Hey, Reg, you got a second?
What is it, Joey?
You wanna get a...
I'm not
For a dead guy, Peter's in pretty good shape. Let's make sure he stays that way. You take note of those names Michael gave us?
They're in my phone, if that's what you mean.
Sure, that's what I meant.
Joey,
What is it this time?
Peter seems okay.
For a spook, yeah. He's not going anywhere. Not yet, anyway.
Michael gave us a few names. We probably should look into them.
After you, dear. So, have you heard of this Tanya Corsi person?
Tanya Corsi? Was she in the gym?
No, it's the name of our roof spook. Is she famous or something?
You could say that. She has a TV show.
I think you mean she had a TV show. Let's get going.